Hi, folks. I'm the dumbest person on the planet.
All right, welcome back. Ricky and Josh would like to talk about Golden Sun, which I know nothing about. So go ahead, Ricky and Josh.
Don wanted me to talk about Professor Layton.
Oh,
real quick.
Which I also know nothing about. So go for it.
Yeah. Just give me like a couple minutes. I think it was really great. Professor Layton and the Unknown Future, which is the third game, came out this year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think the second game was better. I think Diabolical Box.
You are just all over the verbal typos today.
Yeah, was better. But the really cool thing that Unwound Future did was they went into Layton's backstory, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that, and it was on a bigger scale than either the first two games. Like, things just got out of control faster and harder, and I was down with that. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed it, but I think the second game was a better story and a more it just got everything right. And there were a couple things, not big things, but there were a couple things that the third game didn't get right. So that's Professor Layton and the Unwound Future.
Professor Layton in a nutshell.
In my opinion.
In your
Legal
opinion.
Luke.
Oh, right.
Golden Sun?
Golden
I guess?
Sun.
Sure.
Then we'll go on to another Golden game.
Go ahead, Josh, because you beat it before me, so you could talk about it before me.
Did you really? I thought you beat it before.
No,
I beat it
Josh
an hour
won by
before
an
he
hour.
did.
An hour before I did. I have had Golden Sun since it came out, and Josh got it for Christmas and beat it before I did. So, all bow to his beastliness.
Beast.
We do every day, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
grovel at
go
his
ahead.
feet.
Go ahead and start, Josh.
I really liked the story. It, well, obviously it sucked me in since I finished it in the time.
In a week. You freak.
It wasn't like I went on hiatus playing it either. Like, I was playing it straight, okay? Just, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's a little bull. You played Epic Mickey.
Yeah, you had a bunch of other games to play, but so did
Yeah.
Josh. So Josh is...
So did Josh.
Okay, continue.
Anyway.
Hold on. We gotta still dog on Ricky about this.
Yeah, you suck. Okay, keep going, Josh. We're sorry.
It was, a really good game. The story sucked me in, so it was the only game I played from Christmas, a couple days after New Year's. The bosses and the enemies were awesome. They were the same as the classic Golden Sun games.
Go ahead.
And there were Ginny.
I think, in my opinion, I think it's the best of the three.
Because the main character's name is Matthew, right? That's the reason it's best.
No,
that's
Yes,
that's the single
That's my
reason.
favorite reason.
I think the puzzles are better. They're more fun. They're just more creative. There were a lot of puzzles in this game where I was honestly like, whoa, that's really cool, or whoa, what's going on? Oh my god, there was just cool stuff going on. And, props to you, Camelot, for making cool puzzles. I think that it's pretty much the same game as the first two, It's good RPG fun. The main difference is the graphics are better and the story is a little different. Is everybody still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Just checking.
Yeah.
I really liked how if you screwed up in a puzzle, it didn't necessarily lead to you failing. It could sometimes lead to you getting a treasure chest that you wanted to get anyway.
Yeah, I can't think of an example of that. I don't know if that ever happened to me, but
Yeah.
I definitely there was a lot of stuff to do in this game, obviously, because it took me months to beat it. But it was a really fun experience, and again, it's a really solid RPG. I want to say it's better than Dragon Quest, even though it's got random encounters, which I was just harping on. I didn't finish Dragon Quest. In part because Dragon Quest is a much longer game, but in part because all these other games were coming out and I just kept playing them, and I got Golden Sun, and I got all these games after it. I got a bunch of games for Christmas and stuff, and I still kept playing it, and I think that I think that's a real credit to Golden Sun when you compare it to Dragon Quest, that I was still playing it when I had other games to play.
Well, in fairness to
Yeah.
Dragon
With,
Quest, you were also more invested in Golden Sun as a series to begin with.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
The problem with Dragon Quest 9, how You can make your own characters, right?
Yeah, so you don't really get attached to them. No, that's true.
Yeah.
They don't really have a personality because
They don't even
they're supposed
talk.
to be you. Yeah.
Right. Everyone
true.
else does
You're
the
in
talk.
cutscenes.
Yeah, here are cutscenes. Everybody else
Yeah.
is gonna talk for you.
That's true.
Well, then
That's
again, they did that with Matthew in this one, and I think with Isaac in the original too.
Yeah,
But that's one character out of 8 or 7 others
didn't
that
they
follow
do that
you
in
around.
Earthbound, where like whoever you were controlling at the time didn't talk? Or
Yeah. No, they did.
see, and
They had kind of
they still had personalities.
Hmm.
So
But you couldn't customize them.
Yeah.
Right.
they weren't you. They were still Ness.
Yeah, they
Whoa.
I
Sorry.
give Nintendo and Camelot a lot of credit for even making another Golden Sun, because it's been years.
Me too,
Many
yeah.
people didn't think they would ever make another one, but they did.
Although personalities, just like having character, might not be the greatest thing in Golden Sun because there's Tyrell.
Oh my God, Tyrell wasn't ever
I can't. Okay, like
in Golden Sun.
Don has this thing. Like in the first Golden Sun, he really hated Garrett. Like he couldn't stand Garrett, and he wanted to play.
No Garrett run.
Yeah, he did a no Garrett run, and like I didn't have that problem at all. But Garrett's kid, Tyrell, in this game, oh my God, I can't stand him. He is such a douchebag. Like the very first thing that happens in the game. This isn't spoilers because this is literally the first thing that happens when you turn it on. Tyrell breaks this really rare, important item, and the whole point of the game, the whole start of the story, is you have to find an item to replace the thing that he broke. That's the first thing that happens. And the rest of the game after that is just him being a douchebag. Like, oh, like, you know, you get to a new town and everybody's like, wow, look at this beautiful town. It's so civilized. And Tyrell's like, yeah, it's all right. I'm a douchebag. Yeah, it's all right. I've seen better. I don't know. I'm a douche. I just couldn't stand him. He's terrible.
His
But, you
name
know.
will be Jerk Boy.
But that's really not a problem with the gameplay. That's just a character that I can't stand. That is in your party and that you kind of have to put up with.
Yeah, that you leveled up as far as you could. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Way to
Put
go,
up-
Ricky.
I put up with him all the way up until Eolio came, or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what blew my mind? If spoilers if you haven't played it yet, but there's a character who joins your party named Eolio, and he's the son of like
Eolio.
Briggs from the first two games, Briggs the pirate. And like I never beat the second Golden Sun, so I didn't know this. But like Eolio appears in Golden Sun 2 as a baby. Like Briggs' son is in the game as a baby, and then, you know, this game takes place 30 years later, and it's like, holy shit, man. He's like in your party. That blew my mind. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
that's just me.
I do like when
If I remembered anything from the second game, I would have crapped my pants when I saw that. You know, if I remembered anything other than the final boss from the second.
But anyway, yeah, I really like the characters. I think I've always liked in all the Golden Sun games. I love how you can use your magic outside of battle and it'll do things. You know, it'll make you progress. You can turn a puddle to an ice pillar or grow a vine out of the ground.
Can you
and
turn
it'll help.
into a fairy or like use a tornado to go through a wall? Or
You can use a tornado.
do
but
you go
I
through a
don't know.
wall? Do you have to have a red
Sometimes.
crystal selected?
No.
Well, with Golden Sun DS, it's a little bit easier because you're like PP regen, like outside of battle. is,
Yeah.
like, infinite.
Mm-hmm.
I know it
In
was
the
like
first game, it was pretty slow. And that made it kind of difficult, but you would have to manage your PP pretty wisely.
yeah.
Don manages his
Manage your PP.
There was,
Yeah, okay.
There was no way that was going unnoticed. I wasn't going to say
Enough.
anything.
I had
But
to.
I'm-
I'm
I-
sorry.
I was thinking in my head, I'm like, there's no way 3 other people in this call are going to let that one slide. So, anyway, no, you're totally right. I think Golden Sun Dark Dawn is easier than the other two because of the fact that your PP regenerates outside of battle so quickly. Even if, like, it regenerates even if you use it in battle. It regenerates outside of battle just from walking around. And that was a huge bonus, I think. Because basically, I only stuck with the first 4 people that you get, and I still didn't really have a problem. But like Karis, basically, I had it set up so Karis and Reef were like super powerful mages, and I would just spam by the end of the game, I was just spamming, their best magic, and just walking around and recovering it and spamming it some more. And they both had equipment that recovered their PP every turn. So I was recovering out of battle. I was recovering in battle. I was never running out of it. I was selling my psi crystals so that I could buy more powerful equipment because I didn't even need them. So I think the game is much easier, but I don't think that's a fault of it. I guess it kind of is, but it didn't bother me. I had more fun with it because I wasn't tearing my hair out at every boss, just only one boss.
Oh my god, yes.
Anyway.
What should we talk about now?
Great game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
How about
Just Dance 2, yes! Michael Jackson, The Experience.
Oh, no.
We're not going to talk.
I was going to say we should talk about Epic Mickey because I've been playing Mickey-related games this whole time, and people are probably wondering why.
Oh, let's talk about Epic Ricky. I mean Mickey. I mean Licky.
Epic Ricky.
Epic Licky. Kirby's Epic Mickey. Let's talk about Epic Mickey because I was so excited for this game all year, and obviously it was never going to meet expectations, but I think it's a pretty good game nonetheless.
I feel like I was the only person on Earth not excited for this game.
Wow.
So keep going.
No, I wasn't that excited.
Well, I hate you both. But anyway,
Well, you guys are critics.
I'm a big Disney guy. I love Disney. I go to Disneyland every year. I know more about Disney than probably any 20-year-old teenage male should know. So, I guess being 20 you're not a teenager. Anyway, but so I really looked forward to this game, and I wanted to see, how they incorporated all the different Disney elements and how they incorporated Oswald, this dormant character for, 70 years that suddenly was in a video game. And I really wanted to see Mickey come back into prominence because he hasn't had pretty much a good video game since whatever Ricky's playing right now. So I was really, really excited for it. Plus, it was promised to be a little bit of a darker game, even though it obviously changed a lot since the initial promos that came out for it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Obviously, it changed a lot. But I don't think that makes it any less of a good game, just not as epic as it was promised.
Yeah, I think that the title is very misleading. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's kind of slow. It's kind of like a point-and-click adventure almost. It's not point-and-click, but it feels like one because you get quests and you talk to characters and you go and find items and you have to do quests and you discover hidden things behind walls. And it's very fun. I think it's a good game, but it's not this huge adventure, and it's not this epic Lawrence of Arabia type thing where you're going on this journey and meeting all these characters. I mean, you do meet lots of characters, but they're all, in a town.
Yeah,
or
it's no Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Let's put it that way. It's
I hate you.
It's a different game entirely, but it's fun, and I think one of the reasons I really like it a lot is just because I really like Disney. I can see why people wouldn't like this game, and it does have some problems. The camera is pretty terrible, and as Ricky has told me many times, in this day and age, there should never be camera problems in a platforming game at all.
Yeah. It's 2010, we haven't figured out how to do a good camera. It's the nunchuck controller too, which a fantastic game. It's two fantastic games on the Wii.
Which this one is a
Mario
ripoff of.
Named Mario Galaxy. Both have the same control style and a no nonsense excellent camera system. There's no excuse in the year 2010 to have a bad camera. And I don't think the camera in Epic Mickey is as bad as people are making it out to be, but it's bad.
It's noticeable. That's the problem.
There's a problem with it, and there shouldn't be any problems with it.
There should be no bad camera problems ever since Wind Waker had the best camera of any game I've ever played.
There shouldn't be any camera problems anymore anyway.
One you could equip.
The thing about Epic Mickey, it's a 3D game, so all it really needs to have an acceptable camera is a button that centers it behind you, which, like Kyle said, that's one of the Zelda series has that,
It does have one, it just doesn't always work.
Yeah. Exactly! That's what I was just about to say. There's a button that does that, and it works whenever the fuck it wants to. You'll be pushing it, and it's like, no, you can't do that right now. And I'm like, why not? I need to see this direction. And they're like, no, you're too close to a wall. Move about 2 steps that way, and then we'll let you do it. That's bullshit. I mean, it is. I'm sorry. It's a good game. I had a lot of fun with it, and I haven't even beat it yet.
Yeah, I've only had it since Christmas. So, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously I've only
got
had
it
a
for
week
Christmas, right?
to play it. I'm not very far into it. But it's as far as it is now, I look forward to playing it every time I pop it in because it's really engrossing. The world is very cool. It's good to see all those characters, interacting with them, seeing Oswald, and the side-scrolling stages, even though they're really short, they look beautiful. They're fantastic looking.
They do. I think the
Except for the
side-scrolling
fact that they're
stages.
side-scroll.
I think one of the things that bothers me actually about the side-scrolling stages, which is not an inherent fault of them, but I think that this game would have actually been a lot better if it was a side-scroller, and you could use the paint mechanic to make platforms and stuff in a side-scrolling element. I think this would have been a much more fun game if it was like that. And you can't actually use the paint or thinner at all in the side-scrolling section.
They're just
Is
kind
that
of a way to get from one place to another,
Yeah.
and you do have to do them anytime you want to go back somewhere.
Yeah, the side-scrolling sections are kind of just a fun little distraction on your way to the next big area.
And they
which
showcase
I'm
a
okay
lot
with.
of Mickey Mouse history, too, which is
The old shorts, yes, which I was very cool to see. I don't know. Whenever I play the side-scrolling stages, I picture, if the game was a side-scroller, I think it might have been cooler. Maybe it wouldn't have been. What do I know? But
I think they just needed a little bit more time on it. I think they just wanted to get it out because it had been, those production images showed up and then it wasn't mentioned for like a year. And then suddenly, it was in development, everybody knew about it. And I think they just wanted to get it out. And I don't think that the game shows necessarily that they were lazy with it, that they rushed it. I don't think it feels rushed. I just think it needed a little fine-tuning, especially in the camera. If the camera was just fixed, I think it would be a front runner for one of the best Wii games. But for now, it's just it's a good game, and obviously I haven't beat it, so my opinion could change. But it's not the epic game that everybody thought it was going to be. And I don't think that should turn people off from playing it, especially if you love Disney, if you love Mickey, if you love, interacting with characters and things like that. It's really fun to see, like, their warped depiction of Disneyland and to see, Pete show up in all these different places. And, it's an interesting take on a classic company that pretty much rules the world. But it has its problems.
yeah,
But I haven't beat it, so I really can't say too much.
I think every single game we've talked about that came out this year has problems.
Right.
Well, yeah.
That are keeping it from being a 10 or whatever, or a 9,
I don't think Epic...
Unless it's the last one we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. I think, unless we have more to say about Epic Mickey, I think we should move to another
Epic?
game with Epic in the title.
Kirby's
yeah.
Epic Mickey. I mean, Kirby's Epic Yarn. I didn't play it yet.
I think it's a fantastic game.
I think
mean,
it's,
It's
yeah.
okay.
I think all of my... Well, you guys go first. I'll go last.
Yeah, Ricky's
Okay,
Um,
I felt like it was overshadowed by Donkey Kong. Because it was a real...
released within a month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind
if we're comparing like platforming games, there's no contest.
Donkey Kong.
Any platforming game on any console has trouble competing with Donkey Kong Country Returns. But
Heyo.
you have to put that aside and look at the game on its own merits.
Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn is like a nice co-op game that you could play with like little kids or your girlfriend
Yeah.
who's not really into
Ow.
games.
What? What?
It's nice for that, but Donkey Kong Country is so much better.
I think
Yeah.
I think Epic Yarn looks beautiful. The art style is amazing.
Yes.
It
think
looks
it's-
and sounds beautiful.
It hasn't. Nobody's really talked about this because it's cute. It's yarn. That's really how clever. That's what everybody thinks. But like when I play the game, I'm actually distracted by how nice it looks, and it is a yarn style, yeah, but it's kind of shocking how realistic some of this stuff is. For this cutesy yarn thing, that it actually behaves like it should, and it blows my mind a little that it hasn't gotten credit for being, in my opinion, one of the nicest looking games on the Wii. Yeah, it's got this kind of goofy style, but it's I think the graphics are amazing.
It adds a lot of
actually.
charm to it.
Yeah.
I actually heard that this is supposed to be an entirely new series for Nintendo.
Well,
But
I
then
think
they
that's
decided to
obvious
slap
from the
Kirby's
fact-
name.
I think that's obvious from the fact that Kirby's not inhaling things.
Right.
That's hardly a Kirby game. Really, it's. I
So
think,
it sort of threw it onto Kirby to try and help the style itself.
really,
Yeah,
I'll
slap
tell you.
Kirby's face off.
It's Dinosaur Island all over again. Or
No,
is that
I'll
Dinosaur
tell you what
U?
it is. Dinosaur Planet. Thank you.
Dinosaur Planet.
I'll tell you what Kirby's Epic Yarn is. It is a Wario Land game where you play as Kirby. Because, no joke, there's 3 treasures hidden in every stage. There's CDs that you can collect. Maybe that sounds like a little Wario Land 4 to maybe some of you. It plays the same. There's different ways you can move around and break obstacles and stuff. And there's transformations. There's transformations. Wario Land 4, hello?
Well, it's developed by the same people who made Wario Land.
Shake it, yeah.
Shake it.
Good feel.
Mm-hmm.
Good feeling.
Which I'm totally cool with. It's a really fun experience. I loved Wario Land Shake It, and I love Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's just, I feel like it would have been probably better if it wasn't labeled a Kirby game.
But it wouldn't have sold
My
it.
biggest problem. Oh, I also want to say real quick, it was really cool to see like yarn versions of like DDD and Meta Knight. I don't know if anybody else thought that. I thought that was really cool. Because you actually it's told in this like storybook fashion, and you see those characters the way we're used to seeing them. You see them in color with bodies, and you see them, and then they like they end up in the yarn world, and you see their like yarn counterparts, and I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. But I think my biggest problem with Kirby's Epic Yarn is that it's a nitpicky problem. I totally admit that. But my biggest problem with it is that it's not really a Kirby game. It's kind of in
It's
disguise.
not the Kirby game we were promised 7 years
On
ago.
the GameCube?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't remind me.
But I also think that says a lot about the game's quality, that my biggest problem with it is that it's not some other game.
I want to play it. I just haven't gotten, can't get them all.
It's good. It's good fun. It's not Donkey Kong Country Returns. Light years better. Light years better. There's no contest. But I think if you judge the game on its own merits, and if you ignore the fact that Kirby is not inhaling things, you ignore all this stuff about it. It's a pretty solid game, and it's good fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I mean, I didn't finish it yet.
Suck.
But, yeah,
Eh.
it's not a bad game.
I hate you.
Let's
Oh,
let's take another break.